Hello and welcome. So this little video overview is going to give an overview of week one of our course for general chemistry. In week one, we're going to cover chapters 1 and chapters 2. We're going to move quickly in this summer course. And chapters 1 and chapters 2 start to lay the foundation of what is chemistry and why is it important in the world around us. And then from there, we'll start going into how do we know what we know? This idea of what types of measurement are there? What's the uncertainty and error with those measurements? And then into the building blocks of matter, and that is atoms and molecules, and how we're able to sort of know of their existence and how we're able to start to build molecules with them and count them, and other various key aspects of chemistry. And so as we look through this, I'm going to go back and I'm going to share my screen with you, just to give you an overview of our Canvas page again. And as we look at this, again, you need to complete all of the items in the list. You can go through in any order you wish, although it makes more sense to do it sequentially. And so I'll start off with our overview page, which is where you are now watching this video. And this sort of gives an overview of what's due this week, an outline of topics and practice problems for the whole chapter. So these are good resources coming back to study, and knowing all of that content is right in one place. But as we kind of go through, the first place we're going to start is with lecture 1. Why should I care about chemistry? And as you look at each of these lecture pages on Canvas, I've tried to sort of organize it in what I thought was a useful form. And so they're always going to have, what chapter are we in? What's the lecture about? And then some information about it. In this case, we start off with what I think is a really funny parody video of chemistry, with a lot of information in it. So you can watch that. And then we have our first video lecture that I created, just a sense of what is chemistry and how does it touch our lives every day. After that, we have our first assignment. And this first assignment is in the form of a discussion forum post. And so you and all of your classmates will be posting to this forum, and you need to both post to the forum and respond to somebody else's post. And what I've done is, as you look at this, we can go, there's a little description of this with some more details. And if I hit the next button here, it's going to take me to the discussion forum. When you're in this discussion forum, again, here's the blurb. We have 3 websites down here. I'm asking you to sort of take 15 minutes, read some of these websites, just sort of look at them and see what grabs your eye, read about them. And then for the discussion post, I'm asking you just to sort of write a quick blurb, 2 to 4 sentences. We're not asking for a ton of, but just what surprised you? What did you not expect about chemistry, of how it's influencing the world? What interested you? And why? And just write that blurb as just to start a conversation with our peers. This is a graded discussion, and you can see up here it says it is graded. And if you click on these 3 dots here, you can see show rubric, and you can see how I'm going to grade you on this. And the first part is you're going to get up to 10 points for just responding to the post, completing it on time, and just meeting the guidelines of the post. You can get a few less points if you're late or if you're missing something from your post. And then the second half of it is responding to a peer. So in the next couple of days, everyone should be making a post. And then you have up until a week to sort of come back, read your peers, and just have some response. All right. So of what struck you about what somebody else wrote. And there's some guidelines about sort of how to do that here as well. All right. So that's our first assignment. So I'll come back to modules here. And after that, we're going to start getting into our material. And from then on, for each lecture, we'll have a lecture. And so this one's about matter and energy, our learning objectives for the lecture. Here's the chapter reading to go with it. So I really strongly encourage you to be following along in your textbook as we go through this. And then here's the video lecture I made. If you want a PDF copy of the slides to help you take notes, you can download that and take notes right on the PDF copy. After completing the lecture, Here's the end of chapter 1 exercises that you should be able to complete. Those are the OpenStax problems. And here's some other videos that cover similar content if you're looking for more ways to sort of learn the material. I try to put a few of those at the end. After this lecture, you can see there's a short Canvas quiz. And so after you complete the lecture, you can click the next button. And now it's going to take us into our CQ or content quiz. There'll be one of these after each lecture. And you can see you have 2 attempts. All right. And so if you don't get everything right the first time, you can take it again and try again and see how you do, and kind of work through the material. So for this first week, you can see we have lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3, lecture 4, and then we're going into chapter 2 material with atomic theory, atomic structure. We have our lab, and then we have some end of week assignments. And I want to sort of draw your attention to the end of week assignments. So each week you're going to have a couple larger assignments in addition to sort of those content quizzes. One of them are reading guides. So for each chapter of our textbook, you will have a reading guide. And I would encourage you to look ahead and download these reading guides and fill them in as you go. And so you can see we have to submit our reading guide. And so you can click on this. Here's our grading rubric. And so if I click on this reading guide, it opens a Google Doc. So you can save yourself a copy, save a copy of this Google Doc for yourself. And then you can go ahead and type your answers, whatever they are, into that reading guide. And then this will be submitted as a PDF at the end of the chapter. And so this one's on chapter 1. Again, there's one for each chapter. And you can see they're fairly lengthy, but it's covering all of the content we hope you to learn in each chapter. Coming back to our Canvas module. So the other thing besides the reading guide is when we look at sort of the end of week assignments, we have our problem set. So each week there'll be a problem set. And so same thing, here's our rubric for how it's going to be graded. And here's our problem set here. And this again is going to open into a Google Doc. And you can download this. You can fill it out by hand, or you can type your answers on the computer, whatever you want, as long as you're resubmitting it as a PDF. And these are, again, you can be working on as you go, or you can wait till you finish the material and then go back and work on them. And this is going to, in this case, you have some more problems you're going to have to solve. So here's a unit conversion. You're going to have to show your work. Sometimes it's easier to do that part out by hand, take a picture and submit it into the Google Doc, whatever you want to do. I'm happy to help with that formatting too. Just let me know, but just be aware that each week you'll have those 2 assignments, those reading guides, and those problem sets to go with things. All right. And so that's sort of our week 1. There's at the end a week 1 check-in. And this is just a quick survey to say, hey, how's it going? What can I do better? What do you need from me to start that conversation? So a lot of content. So don't delay. And when you have questions, please just let me know. Thank you.